Hello. I've been watching a lot of Burn Victim 77's videos. Most of you guys know that, or I've mentioned watching his videos before. And one of them, I can't remember which one, but he does a lot of videos on atheism and Christianity and just faith and religion in general. And I was thinking to myself what the difference between religion and spirituality, atheist and agnostic, things like that, when they're not applied to religion. So I looked up the definitions not applying to religion, or there are more than one definition for these two words, atheist and agnostic. Atheist, a person who believes or who denies or disbelieves the existence of a supreme being or beings. And then there's also the one that where it actually mentions God, where they don't believe in God or whatever. Agnostic is a person who denies or doubts the possibility of ultimate knowledge in some areas of study. And then there's also the one that applies to, the definition that applies to religion, which I didn't put down. The definition of religion, there's two. One, I imagine, would be what most people would think is the practice of a religious belief, ritual observation of a faith. But there's also another one that says, what does it say? A set of beliefs concerning the cause, nature, and purpose of the universe, especially when considered as the creation of a superhuman agency or agencies, usually involving devotion and ritual observation, and often containing a moral code governing the conduct of human affairs. That sounds a little weird to me. That's a little vague. And then spirituality is the quality or fact of being spiritual. But there's also another, right under the quality or fact of being spiritual is the clergy. And that's all it says on spirituality. So, I guess my question was, I consider myself agnostic, but there are things that I believe in outside of religion, or that I won't deny, or I won't say it doesn't exist. Like ghosts and UFOs and things that are unseen and people don't know for sure, basically. All the unknowns and supernatural type things. I was wondering what people's opinions are towards those things. Like what an atheist would say about those subjects. For instance, I used to live in this house, and I was young, I was little, not little, I was 15 when we moved in there, and I didn't know until afterwards, but the people who owned that place before me, or before my parents, were my grandmother's best friends. They lived there for years and years. And their daughter is my aunt, and she used to tell stories about this ghost named Charlie. And she used to say that there was a ghost there, and Charlie was, I can't remember his last name, Hines. Charlie Hines, or Charles Hines, was a man who owned that place years and years before her parents had gotten it. And he died there in his sleep, just natural death. He wasn't murdered or anything. And apparently she claimed that he haunted this place, this house. And the funny thing, this is the thing that gets me, is I've heard things in that house when I was growing up, things that I couldn't explain away, Like, I couldn't just say, oh, well, that's just the wind, or a floorboard, or whatever. And my friends had heard it too, being at my house sleeping over, or whatever. Like, one night, watching movies with one of my girlfriends, it was like 3 a.m, and we can hear somebody using a handsaw, like an old saw, just sawing a piece of wood. Then we could hear hammering, and then we could hear work boots on tile or concrete, or like you can tell the sound of a work boot walking around. And it was over on the other side of the house where it was actually like storage to a store that was right beside the house, adjoined. So things like that made me sort of believe. I never saw anything. I never saw a ghost or anything like that, but I heard things that I couldn't explain. And up until then, I thought that things like that didn't exist, and I just didn't believe it because I could always explain it away. And I wasn't our family wasn't the only family to hear things. There was a family that moved in after us, and the woman had a little boy, and he used to tell her that he saw things, that he saw a man. And it freaked her out because she didn't see anything or hear anything, but her little boy did. And she eventually moved out. So that's my experience with ghosts. Then there was another family who lived there before me, and their daughter was in my class, and they lived there for 4 years, and she never heard a thing, she says. But she's very like, scientific. In fact, she's a scientist now. Now that we're like graduated from school and stuff, she does like molecular blah blah blah, whatever. And I'm wondering if, because of her science background or her feelings on science, did that make it easier for her to explain what happened, or did she not hear anything? And I was wondering what an agnostic, or what's the, like, maybe she's an atheist, and because I'm agnostic, I leave room for doubt. Yeah, so I guess this whole thing was about atheists and agnostics, but not pertaining to religion, like more how they would react to a supernatural thing happening to them. Or like when it comes to aliens and UFOs, I don't know if there is anything, but my whole view on that is, I think it would be naive to believe that we are the only intelligent life form in the entire universe, considering the universe is infinite, or science says it's infinite. So that's my deal on that. Like, I've never seen anything, but I just think it's naive to suggest that we're the only life form out there. So I wanted to know from any atheists, or agnostics, or whoever, whatever. I just wanted to know somebody else's opinion on this, because I was wondering what the difference of opinion between the two groups would be. So, yeah, and that's it. I think I'll send this to a couple of people, and maybe they'll make a video response. Alright, that's it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.